you're referring to Optimus, Tesla's AI robot. Optimus he's amazing, right?
Uh-huh.
But what makes Optimus crazy is that the Tesla bot, he's learning by the real world. So he's seeing, he's doing, he's looking at other people, he's replicating, he's building muscle memory, right? It's like so let's take us back ahead. Spatial computing is much greater than XR, okay? This is all spatial. Your Tesla or my Tesla or whatever's Tesla, the camera's on, that's spatial computing. It's taking in spatial data, it's ingesting it, and now it's allowing that car to drive itself, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the Grow IT podcast. Your host here, Alessandro Cutri, joined today by none other than the lucky Lance K. Gobindram, the president, the senior vice president of sales over at Kin America. We're going to be diving into his story, a little bit about what their company does, some interesting industry trends as well. So definitely make sure to stick around. But without further ado, Lucky, I'm just going to pass it on over to you. If you could just introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, everybody. I'm Lucky Lance K. Gobindram, president of Kin America. So I'm a 15-year technology executive with experience in digital industry, specializing in delivering innovative emerging tech solutions at the intersection of XR and AI. I've had the privilege of leading Kin America with my partner Ash and its previous incarnations as well.
Hmm.
Um, for the last decade or so, building award-winning full cycle software and providing IT consulting. So we're focused on experiences through web, mobile, XR platforms for enterprises, Fortune 1000s, Global 2000 companies worldwide. And our mission is to connect audiences to products and services and people by seamlessly blending cutting edge design with the latest technology.
Nice. Yeah, it's very interesting to see how you've gotten into it's such a specific niche, right? And have you always had like an IT and technology background? Is that something that you have always been
Uh,
specialized in?
Always that background, right? So I went to school for business, but I
Mhm.
grew up in a household that, we were deep into tech. My father is an engineer, inventor, so he built some really, really, really cool products that went, it wasn't called viral back then, but they were viral. So you probably saw the Mickey Mouse telephone, the Jeep boombox, the lips,
Wow.
that classic neon. So all that novelty products through the 80s and 90s that had Disney branding, Jeep,
Yeah.
and other major household names that land up in most American households and even global households was
Yeah.
hits. So we would hang out in these labs, we'd mess with the circuit boards and all this good jazz. And in the 90s when we were kids, Ash, who's my partner and brother, he started learning to code, right?
Huh.
So I really started with that. And you fast forward, we came out of college, we were in a different business, we sold it and exited it. We're looking at what to do next, and
Yeah.
we're geeky. We like, and we like emerging technology more than anything, right?
Yeah.
We have always tinkered and played on the precipice of, what's next, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
how is the world going to evolve and what is, that next medium, right?
Hmm.
And, when it was 16 years ago, it was mobile, right? We found ourselves in a position where we were building our own IP and we were
Yeah.
tinkering with building our own mobile apps for iPhone apps, iPhone
Yeah.
2, App Store 1, right? And I don't know, fast forward, people knocking on our door asking for help, and we had chops because we've been building mobile. So
Yeah.
friends in the right places, conversations start, and we start, just rolling up our sleeves, and what started just being nice and helpful and
Mhm.
being, a good member of the community,
Yeah.
and wanting to see it blossom turned into a practice that grew
That's
and it was our
awesome.
own passion is the truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And how so, in terms of you mentioned that you guys are kind of like, in the technology space, you're loving new emerging technologies. Like, what are, obviously there's the elephant in the room, AI is one of the big ones, but what are some other, or maybe in specific with AI, what are some specific trends that you're seeing that are happening right now within the market?
Well, I think emerging technology today is very focused on AI, yes. And AI's been the buzz for the last 12 to 18 months, and rightfully so, right? It
Yeah,
has
yeah, yeah, yeah.
accelerated, and extended, humanity in a way,
Hmm.
right? But that's, yeah, everything AI is trust but verify, right? Still.
Yeah,
But the other thing I see there is XR, right? And the reason I see XR and why I'm so bullish on this is because we're 3D. It's fun to talk to you. Don't get me wrong. It's nice, Alessandro, to talk to you on a Brady Bunch box. I see you on my screen. It's 2D. You're there.
yeah, yeah,
But right, if I was to have this and know this in my Vision Pro, the sense of presence, right? That spatial persona, the ability to high five, the ability to open, a board game and talk over a game of chess,
yeah,
and
yeah,
or uh, be in a room and whiteboard and we can share ideas and you know use mediums that are more natural that build on the novel possibilities
yeah,
and these things that are not possible with this medium
yeah,
and leave you to desire, right? And it's great. Don't get me wrong. Zoom is and others have taken us very far.
yeah,
Um, through the pandemic, we saw that acceleration of communication in ways that were possible before, but now profoundly relevant, right?
yeah,
I think we're about to see that next wave, right? Where you start to see XR eat the devices that we wear in simple ways, right? You're beginning to see it of Meta, right, with their glasses and where
yeah,
they're positioning Orion and what's to come next and multimodal and AI integrated in them and be able to use them in the real world and not be tethered to a little brick in your pocket or something, right?
yeah,
So I'm bullish on that. I'm bullish that computing is spatial, it's hands-free, it's voice activated and in your environment. Um, less of people walking down the street that face down in their phone, more
yeah,
people living and being around and having computing surround them in their work, in their life, for fun, for entertainment, for education, for work and success in those environments. So,
yeah,
I think AI is the beachhead with it, right? AI enables so much within it, right? From,
yeah,
you know, additional information and dynamic functionality to next level things, right? To generation of sequential learning if you're doing L&D platforms and people go through a lesson and fail in certain ways, then that next lesson should play against where they fail, not give them the same wings. And AI allows that dynamic creation of content, environment, data around statistically how you're doing or how things are going, right? There's so many things that and at the convergence of both.
definitely. And it's one of those things that's fascinating to think about, the world that we're going into, right? And to how you're painting that picture, right? I don't know if we're very far from, and that's what you guys are, a part of. It must be exciting for you, right? Like to be
I'm
on the
fired up if you can't tell, right?
yeah,
Obviously, I love it. I mean,
yeah,
I breathe
yeah,
this. It's really exciting, right?
yeah, yeah, exciting
It's
stuff.
also that, you can see that we're on the precipice. You can see the acceleration. You can feel it at the
Yeah,
enterprise level where this is becoming more real. They're seeing the value. This is no longer, let's build an MVP and test it
yeah,
in like a way that it's like throwaway and it's not really going to scale, right? They're coming in with intention, right?
yeah,
To
yeah,
to improve things, to use it as a tool, right? And they're finally understanding that
yeah.
value.
So what I'm curious to get your take on, obviously AI agents have kind of, come up in a lot of conversations recently. What's your take on AI agents? How do you see them kind of evolving and what do you see that with that certain a trend that's happening now?
Well, AI agents are here to stay.
Hmm.
They're coming at you from a million different ways at this point.
Yeah,
Right. I think there's questions, and we're talking about it. It's like where, for example, at an enterprise level, where is that data on that organization stored?
yeah,
And is the agent just a layer that's interpreting that data, or with some customization on it, right?
yeah,
I think agents have a place in many different facets of life, whether it be in chat, right? And that chat could be teaching somebody a soft skill. It could be support, customer support. It could be, role playing in other ways, right? There's so many different things that agent can be besides a NPC in a video game, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it is the gateway that shows people what's possible. But that agent is very good in say retail training or training your sales team when
Yeah.
they're in the field and say they're selling a certain service. It could
Yeah.
be windows, it could be roofing, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
It's very good in role play. Say you're simulating enterprise learning in a boardroom or
Yeah.
anything, right? Um,
Yeah.
it's not it's not going to replace the whole thing yet, but it will chew through certain parts of it, right? And I
Yeah.
think that agent is cool in the business case, but it has also a relation in your personal life, right? I think we're going to start to see agents that are going to support personal needs,
Yeah.
right? And it could be a million different. It could be loneliness. It could
Yeah.
be uh, there's so many flavors here, but I
Yeah. I
think
mean, the
agents are huge.
and it's crazy because it's like it's we're like we're living in times where they used to make movies about, right? And we're in those times now where it's like, yeah, that's gonna be a reality. I mean, it is a reality. Like I was just seeing, and they're coming out with those AI, avatars that are essentially, I mean Tesla, right? The AI robots that are really able to be autonomous and obviously not full autonomy, but able to interact with us. They're able to engage with us, right? And so that's definitely a big trend that we're going to continue to see. And who knows, like when you really think about 5 to 10 years, like you think about how much advancements we've made just since ChatGPT came out, for example,
Oh
right?
yeah, man. It's only
Like,
gonna get crazier, right?
yeah,
Optimus, I think you're referring to Optimus, Tesla's AI robot. Optimus he's amazing, right?
uh-huh.
But what makes Optimus crazy is that the Tesla bot, he's learning by the real world. So he's seeing, he's doing, he's looking at other people, he's replicating, he's building muscle memory, right? It's like so take us back ahead. Spatial computing is much greater than XR, okay? This is all spatial. Your Tesla or my Tesla or whatever's Tesla, the camera's on, that's spatial computing. It's taking in spatial data, it's ingesting it, and now it's allowing that car to drive itself, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That robot, when he's working in the real world, and whether it
yeah,
be Optimus or whoever, whatever robot it's going to be,
yeah,
he's taking in spatial data and he's using spatial computing to perform tasks in the real world.
yeah,
That
yeah,
XR device, which is taking VR, MR, AR, spatial, right?
yeah,
So all these things fall into spatial computing,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And spatial computing powered with AI is what's crazy, right? Because look, have you ever driven a Tesla before? I don't know
I
if you
have.
have. You
Yes,
live
I
in
have.
You're in Cali. It's
Yeah,
prevalent, right?
definitely
But
have.
like
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just went to Boston last week to go to MIT Reality Hack, right? I
Mhm.
was a mentor out there, whatever it is, and you're seeing some of the coolest things and smartest people building on them. But the thing is, like, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I drove my Tesla, to get back to my point, it's like, it couldn't take me autonomously from my house in the North Shore of Long Island
Mhm.
to Cambridge, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Right? It couldn't even switch lanes,
Yeah.
right? Let alone take me there, right?
Uh-huh.
Today, you know, once I get off and I'm like, off my driveway or whatever is off the back roads where I am, that Tesla drove me like 90% of the way there,
Yeah.
right? Limited human intervention, right? It's
Yeah.
mind blowing what spatial and AI, when it has data of the real world, is able to replicate and do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like those new, I mean, there's taxis in LA that are fully AI, right? Like there's no one even driving them.
Talking about those Waymos or whatever they
Yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah. The Waymos. Uh
Tesla, they got nothing on Tesla, bro. Have you seen the videos of Waymo like getting stuck in a parking lot and doesn't know how to get out and it's going in circles and the person's going to the airport and can't get there? Um,
No, I have not seen that. I
hilarious.
so
But
Tesla is
it's coming. The point is everybody's seeing
yeah.
and
Yeah.
noticing, and it's going
Yeah.
to continue to eat through our real world.
Yeah.
And the hope is that it improves humanity. It's done with humanity at the center
Yeah.
and with empathy and, ethics.
Yeah.
But there's no reason that we shouldn't be thinking about how these tools and technology do such and how do we build for such to advance our progress,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about, and that's what we're trying to help brands and enterprises and companies do it through consulting and execution of
Got it.
design and
Yeah.
engineering, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. I totally get you. And it's one of those things that you have to make sure it's working for humanity, right? Not against it. And I think that's a great point. And I do we could go down this rabbit hole for 2, 3 hours and talk about all
Oh
this. But
yeah.
yeah,
If I told you
but
all the questions we had in mind, it would be
yeah,
really hard to tackle.
yeah. But I did want to transition a little bit into kind of just, you obviously are, the heading up the sales division, right? And you are kind of, really leading the path for Kin America and what you're doing. I wanted maybe you to share some things that have worked well for you in terms of getting new business and bringing in new customers with other sales leaders or founders who are maybe tuning in.
So, I think this is personal to every organization. There's some people that do certain things better than the other, right? Um, what's really worked is one, being out there, right?
Yeah,
Sharing what we know,
yeah,
meeting people, getting in the room, letting them touch, feel, learn from what we've learned, and giving them the access to that, right?
yeah,
We
yeah,
do that in a couple of different ways. One, we're present on the scene at industry events, networking, and that doesn't mean having a booth or something like that. I'm not the type of guy who likes to have a booth and set my flag,
yeah,
but I think there's value to go there and be in the conversation, whether it is giving a talk, participating in roundtables, etc. Right? Or even in the case of MIT Reality Hack, I joined the Founders Lab there. I went there as a mentor. I met, peers that are mind-blowingly successful and expand my own mind, but also give me the opportunity to meet all types of interesting people that are building on that edge,
yeah,
right? Um, then, building part of trade organization. So VRARA, man, the Virtual Reality Augmented Reality Association. Amazing. I am an advisor to the Enterprise Committee, the New York Committee, the Metaverse Committee. And, we're out there, we're hosting, talks, we're writing white papers and sharing that knowledge,
yeah.
right? Um, yeah, yeah, man. So some of that, right?
Yeah,
Some of
no,
that
and I mean
authoring,
that's
sharing.
it's one of the most important. I think what you just said is like getting stuff out. Like it sounds so simple in the phrase that you use, right? Getting out there, but it's so true, right? Are you getting your offer in front of more people? Are you getting what it is that you're doing in front of more people? Are you out there trying to make those connections? Are you out there trying to do that the relationship work? Because as you know, it's not you can't just expect customers to come to you,
Yeah,
right?
shaking
You
hands and kissing babies. You gotta be out there like the president. You want that comes with the territory, right? Like, and you gotta
exactly.
love it. You gotta enjoy it, and people can tell when you don't know and you're just talking nonsense, right?
Yeah,
So it's really about digging in, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
in the right ways, right? So like
yeah,
that some people are paying for your eyes. Other
yeah.
people are getting your eyes because you stumble upon it because you're trying to learn something and they're providing valuable insights and information, right?
Exactly.
And they're seeing
Exactly.
things that you may not see. And instead of trying to hold it to their chest, they're sharing it so everybody sees it. And we can talk about it, we can debate about it, we may disagree about it, but the truth of it is the conversation to be had and push
Yeah.
your mind further.
Yeah.
So we're very much about that, right? It's very much
Yeah.
about, you know, being vocal, sharing what we know, having that discourse,
Yeah.
being being part of the conversation and being present,
Yeah.
right? And
And what
we've
would you
seen that
say,
work for
like,
us.
obviously you it seems like you probably wear a lot of hats, right? You're not just doing one
Ah,
thing within the
my
business.
my
Yeah.
co-founders and partners are amazing, bro. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, so I'm so fortunate. Like
Yeah.
for Ash and Andrew and crew, these
Yeah.
guys, they make it look easy. But the truth of it is, I'm just a mouthpiece, bro. They're the brains, right? They're making it real and possible, and
Yeah.
they're really, they make it easy because they're really good at what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you enjoy most about what you do? Like what is the thing that,
Being out there,
yeah.
being the guy who gets to read and try different things and share it with the group and
Mhm.
really get to tinker at these different things and, be able to be present in these rooms and these environments. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of the people that are there are friends at this point. So it's like, hanging out with people that you like.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work when that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I enjoy that, man. I really
Yeah.
enjoy being out there and sharing
I
what
could tell.
I see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that's a beautiful, and that's the thing when you start to, I feel that it's so important, especially when you're running a business or you're doing these, strenuous things that require a lot of effort, right? What you're doing is not something that's an easy task, right? Rolling out a new business and getting people to buy into the vision, and selling and making relationships and kissing babies. It's one of those things that can take a it can take a lot out of you.
Yeah,
But you have to there's a lot of you have to find the enjoyment in that, right? And that's what's able to fuel
sure.
you and continue to make it easy for you to want to show up to work every single day, right? It's like and not have a problem with it,
The
so
other thing is impact, right? When you
yeah.
can see beyond like, the thought process and doing it, but when you start building things, right? We've been fortunate to have awesome clients, right? And like when those things go live and you can start seeing the impact, wow, right? That's even cooler, right? Then you can go to that person and be like, dude, check this out. Who would have thought? Or like, look, the theory panned out. This really does do this, and you can measure this, and you can quantify the business impact. It's like, oh, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And that is even that's even more fire in your belly when you can really see the tangible results of what has transpired from
Yeah.
where you started to where you ended, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and Lucky, there's a lot of people that are listening to this that are, looking to, start their own business, and they want to, they want to put maybe the vision that they have, to light and actually bring forth. Well, you've, done a couple, you've at this point you've already, it's not your first rodeo, in terms of building a business, but what advice would you have for someone that's like looking to start and, like maybe they're a little bit nervous about actually getting out there?
Oh, don't be nervous. One, there's nothing to be nervous about. Funny enough, my name is Lucky, but I failed more times than you tried, right? Like the truth of it is fail. It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
Failing is probably better than success sometimes because you actually learn things that you would have never known before, and you master things that would have been challenges, right? Like, I mean, you're it's gonna be a bumpy road, right? It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard, right? It's worth it, right? It builds character.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more, right? I think the biggest thing that you can do if you're looking to build character, right, and you're looking to become a better person, I feel like as I've, been growing this business, it's made me turn into a new person, right? Just understanding people better, understanding myself better, understanding, understanding how to handle challenges better, right? You learn across this journey so much that makes you into who you are, right? I often say it's not the getting to the top of the mountain in terms of what like who that is, who that makes you become. It's about the journey of like going up the mountain, right? Because if you just got dropped off at the top of a mountain by the helicopter, you wouldn't have the journey that you could say that's too.
There are people that do. They're called trust fund babies.
Yeah.
How did that turn out?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I completely agree with you, man.
Yeah.
All aside
Yeah.
and being silly, um, it's worth it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying to most people. It's worth it, right? You're gonna be scared. You're gonna
Yeah.
be challenged, right? But it's all about the journey, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the struggle. It's all about that, right? And it's a lot of fun, right? It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect note to end here, Lucky. I couldn't agree more, man. It is all about the journey. It's always embracing it and enjoying it. If people are listening to this, man, they're like, "Hey, man, Lucky's got something cool. I want to check him out." What are some good next steps they can take to see what you guys are doing at Kin America? Where can they find you guys?
You can send me a message on X or LinkedIn. Happy to connect with anybody. And set up times to chat, dive in deeper, give you more information. Open book. Handle is LL Gobindram on X. And my profile on LinkedIn is just my name.
Perfect. Well, I'll make sure to include both of those in the description. Make sure to go check out Lance and what they're doing. We got full endorsement over here at Grow IT. Thanks, guys. If you did make it all the way to the end, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Lucky, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Of
Have a good
course.
day.